Welcome back to the 90s Tech. We are back. This is a quick follow-up video to the last video that I posted about the NuXT. This is just a quick video on kind of some things that I did right, some things that I did wrong at the last video, and what I was able to get working, which is everything. You might also notice that the memory card here is way up at the top of the screen is also changed. This is now a 1 gigabyte CF card, which is more storage than I could ever possibly need on a system like this. That card will basically never get full. So the other thing, if I zoom in just a little bit here, whoa, all right, that works. All right, so here is the jumper for serial. In the last video, I had some trouble getting the onboard serial to work, which is over here. It's kind of dark, sorry about that. That's the serial port on the inside. It just wasn't playing nice with the I/O controller here. So what I basically ended up doing was I just disabled the onboard serial, and I'm using both COM1 and COM2 here. Just for whatever reason, I think it's this card was just not happy, was not playing nice. So I basically just disabled onboard serial, and we're just using this onboard serial, game port, and parallel port. I have the parallel port on this disabled for the time being. Just don't really have a reason to have it on, but I can always go in and enable it if I want to. So here is the jumper for serial. In here, you basically select your COM port, which gives you your address as well as your IRQ. So by taking these both off of the jumpers, it basically just disables the serial port. So that's good. But one other thing that I didn't really address in the last video was getting upper memory working. So by default, this system comes with 640K of RAM, and there is some more RAM available, but they leave it disabled just in case you need additional memory space or something like that. So right here in this bank of switches, this one right here in the middle has to do with how much RAM the system has available. Don't want to touch that guy or that guy, just this guy right here. And dumb me, I was looking through the manual, I was looking online, like how do I enable this, what's going on? And I'll put it up on the screen towards the bottom, but not at the very bottom of page 11 in the manual. It says in a bullet point here, it says C800F000 matches switches 2 through 6 being on. If switches 3 through 5 was on instead, it would be D0008 or E800. Refer to the chart on the left. And then, so on page 10, there's a chart. It shows basically which 32K blocks are available. And I wanted the maximum. I'm not doing anything weird. I'm not doing any option ROMs or anything like that. So I wanted the absolute maximum I could get with this guy. So if you want to get that upper memory, you just need to flip all of these except one to the on position. Now this won't work for every single config, like the manual says. If there's some kind of option card or something like that that needs some memory space, like maybe a different video card, maybe a network card that might have some kind of BIOS boot ROM or something like that. If you happen to have something here in the option ROM here, ROM secret or ROM socket, that may require some address space. So, the wonders of 8-bit computing. So that's the first part of it. And then of course, again, here in the manual, it talks about, again, on page 11, it says upper memory block DOS setup. Basically talks about how you need use bang UMBS 2.20 is the recommended driver along with DOS max to move DOS to upper memory. This configuration should leave with only 10K of conventional memory used. DOS 5.0 or later is required. This system is running DOS 6.2.2, so no problems there. And then later on, it goes down and it talks about, to add use bang UMBS 2.2 driver to your config sys, add the following 2 lines. And then it talks about, to use DOS max, also, edit your config sys and put in these lines. And I'll show that on the screen right now. So that's on page 11 of the BIOS. So now we'll go over to my screen capture and I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm using like a 6-year-old Hauppauge game capture, which takes a while to get going, but yeah, there we go. So as you can see, mine is already set up with all of the goodies, and right there where it says conventional memory, it says total 640K, used 10 free 630, which totally reminds me of back in the day. I used to tweak my auto exec bat, my config sys file to move things into upper memory. Ironically, my first computer, my first PC was a NEC V20 running at basically 10 megahertz like this one is. 9 point whatever megahertz, but I'm not gonna count hairs like that. So anyway, so yeah, I was always really proud when I had like, oh, I'm only using like 21K of conventional memory and I've managed to move everything else into upper memory. But really cool. So let's go into edit. All right, so we're in edit, and so how this comes is right here where it says use umbs.sys, and you see the memory space. Oh, I have a mouse, don't I? Can I highlight stuff? I can. Man, edit was way ahead of its time. So this is talking about basically switches 2 through 6. That's your memory space. It's actually C8000 and F and then 4 zeros, but they truncate it like this. They actually talk about that in the manual as well. So the manual talks about, oh, you should go get these files and sort of put them on the computer. But when you get a NuXT, the compact flash card is already set up with this, but these are basically commented out. So I just went in here and I uncommented these. I was able to use all of the stock settings and stock buffers, stock files. I basically, all I did was comment out these files. So, and then I rebooted and it worked. So, which is pretty cool. And then just for kicks, because you did see that I had a working mouse, if we go to edit auto exec.bat and wait, because this machine is not a speed demon. So here, this was actually enabled by default, which is super cool. I may have had to uncomment it, I can't remember. I had forgotten all about DOS key. DOS key works kind of like modern Linux. You can hit the up arrow and you've got your previous command, which is pretty cool. So I also added Cute Mouse. I got this from Phil's Computer Lab's website. If you're not familiar with his website, just look for Phil's Computer Lab on Google or Bing or DuckDuckGo or whatever your favorite web search is, and you can get Cute Mouse. It works with basically just about any kind of mouse. I'm using a Microsoft Serial mouse. Works with USB mice. Well, I might not work with USB mice, but it definitely works with PS2 mice and most Serial mice. And then MEM is enabled by default. That's the way that JD sends these. So, and I think that's to show, hey, look, here's how much RAM you have. But to get the upper memory working, you actually don't need to do anything else in here. But I wanted to have a mouse driver, and then if you don't remember, LH means load high, and that will load that particular TSR. So we have DOS key and CT mouse or Cute Mouse loaded high into upper memory, and it works just fine. So I'm really glad to see that. And you've got a ton of memory available. I mean, just look at all that memory. So that's basically it. As a quick last little thing I wanted to do, just for funsies, I have been experimenting with this computer. I want to do a dedicated video on gaming with this. So, but I wanted to do just a quick little preview. So if I do a dir, you can see I've got a directory here called games. So we'll cd games. And it does take a little while to check that 1 gigabyte file, or that 1 gigabyte CF card. Not too terribly long, but yeah, you gotta wait for it to kind of rescan every once in a while, which sort of sucks, but oh well. Welcome to DOS. All right, so I don't really have a whole lot on here yet. I do have a bunch of old demos and stuff like that I got from My Abandonware, but one of the fun ones here, I think, is Elite. So if we go into Elite, and I think I have all this set up already, so let's just run Elite. If I remember right. Oh yeah, that's right. This is one time. So this should come through the game capture as long as it's still working. And we're gonna do MCGA, 256 color graphics. I may need to adjust the picture, although I guess it doesn't really matter. I might adjust it, we'll see. Oh yeah. Hopefully the sound is working. Is the sound working? I don't remember. Oh, there it goes. All right, that was my preview audio. Well, hopefully the sound is working. If not, if it is, you should be hearing some really nice ad-lib right now. And yeah, look at that. It's Elite running in all of its glory of, what, 10 frames a second, maybe? So yeah, that's Elite. I've actually tried running LHX on this too. It's borderline unplayable. This game is somewhat playable. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to be exploring gaming on this with a bunch of old games. I'm also going to be connecting this machine to the internet via serial. But it's kind of cheating, but it is a bit involved to get it working. So if you have a Linux box, there is a way to get this thing online without adding a serial or without adding some kind of network card or something like that and dealing with packet drivers and DOS packet and all that crappy stuff. So anyway, that's about it. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And it does help the channel. I am doing this channel for fun. I'm not here to make any money. I will never have a Patreon or anything like that. So, and I don't monetize any of my videos. Geez, listen to me. I sound like it's like, I don't monetize my videos, you're welcome. I don't mean it like that at all. I'm just having a good time sharing my old stuff. And this is just a hobby of mine. And I really appreciate all the positive and constructive feedback that I've been getting in the comments. I reply to them as quickly as I can. So thank you very much for that. Thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Keep it 90s.